Hey everybody, King Heathen now is going to talk about the creation of the world as according to the Holy Bible. Okay? So, God creates heaven and the earth. Says a bunch of crap about it and says, you know what, it's too damn dark. Let me see something. And He lets there be light. So there is. He's pretty happy there, and He says that the light's going to be called day, the darkness is going to be called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. The day happens when the earth rotates on its axis all the way around. The light comes from the sun, and what exactly was he saying here? And by the way, he hasn't created the sun yet. Why did he have to separate light? If I take my hand and I hold it up, you can clearly see that that there's light on one side and there's dark on the other. I'm not God or anything, but I think I could call this day and this night. But if it turns, then things are going to change a little bit. And now all of a sudden, this is day and this is night. Because the sun stays still and the earth is the one that moves. Oh, that's right. These people didn't know that yet. Well, that explains why they wrote it this way. Of course, it kind of goes against the idea this is the Word of God, because if I'm God, I'd just tell Him, I created the sun, I created the earth, and anyway, I'm skipping ahead. Let me stop. So, day number 1's over with. Alright, now God's going to decide that there's some water down there, and I like the water down at the bottom. I'm going to make some more water up here at the top, and there's going to be a firmament. And he keeps calling it a firmament. But the waters that's under the firmament and the waters that are above, in between there, he's going to call that heaven. He created the heaven and the earth. But now it's going to be heaven, right there. And that's where he's going to live. But where did he live before that? What was he doing before all this? 2 days have gone by, and he's doing all this stuff. What was he doing before that? I mean, seriously, I take a vacation from time to time, but what exactly were you doing for the entire eternity that happened before you created everything? Just seems odd to me. Alright, so he calls that heaven, and that's the end of the second day. Oh, the lame-ass second day, don't you think? I mean, you created light from nothing. You created the heavens and the earth before that, which means you did it in the dark. But anyway, alright, we're on day number 3, and so the waters under the heaven gathered together into one place. Actually, they didn't. They gathered into many places, but what's your point? So the dry land appears. Oh, okay, I see. And he's going to call that Earth. Well, we call the whole planet Earth, so take that. Alright, and he's going to call the waters the seas, and he's happy with that. So now the earth is going to bring forth grass and herbs and trees and all that, and it's going to have seeds in it. Repeatedly talks about the seeds that are in there, and that's the end of the third day. Alright, one of the trees needs seeds. We ain't got to the part where Adam screws everything up by eating the damn fruit off the tree of knowledge of good and evil, so, why do we need seeds? We're going to find out in a minute. We're at the end of that day, and now we're starting up. And he takes the lights of the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and he's going to make a great light. There are 2 great lights, actually, one to rule the day and one to rule the night. Alright, he made the stars also. Now that's a big one right there. Some of the closest stars to the earth are 14 plus light years away. That means it would take 14 years before anyone on Earth would have seen them. Now, he doesn't say that anybody saw the stars just yet. But I mean, hey. The other part is that he said there's only two great lights, but there's not two great lights. There's only one great light, and that's the sun. And then there's the moon, and the sun reflects off the moon, and that creates some light as well. But let's face it, there's still only one light. Why didn't an all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful, do whatever he wants to kind of guy just say, I'm going to create the sun, and then I'm going to create the moon, and I'm going to make the sun reflect its light off the moon so that you have not quite as strong a light in the nighttime so that you can still go to sleep. See, I mean, I would have bought that. But that's not what it says. It sounds retarded instead. Alright, so he's happy with himself, and that's the end of the fourth day. Alright. I like this verse here. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So birds are going to fly to heaven. Now we've been all the way to space. We've got satellites that watch the earth, all the way around. We've got airplanes that fly up there. We don't seem to find God. He punishes the people who build the tower, and yet we have skyscrapers way better than what they ever built, and again, the planes and the space shuttles. I don't get it. So God creates, here's what's funny. God created the great whales and every living creature that moveth. And then the fowl after their kind and all that, and tells them to be fruitful and multiply, and that's the end of the fifth day. The whales are the only ones he mentions specifically. I wonder why. What was so special about the whales that he mentioned? Maybe that tells. Maybe we should be studying the whales more, because if God made such a point to point out the whales, but nothing else, maybe he was trying to tell us something about the whales. It's funny that he didn't mention the dolphins, because the dolphins are the closest to us intelligence-wise. But anyway, day's over. Time to move on. Well, actually, you know what? Since he told them to be fruitful and multiply, I'm just curious why. Nothing's going to die yet. Adam hasn't done any sins yet. What is this deal? Of course, I guess he already knew what was coming. He does see into the future, So he's going to make everything after his kind, and the cattle. And now again, he mentions the cattle, but no other thing does he call by name. Other than, I guess you can say he mentions fish, but that's kind of a broad type term. But he mentions cattle, he mentions fish, and he mentions whales, but he doesn't mention anybody else. Kind of sucks for the king of the jungle, right? But he's happy with all the animals, and then he decides to make. He says, "Let us make man in our own image." I don't know who us is, and I don't know who our is. There's no angels, there's no other people, because no one's died yet to go to heaven. It seems odd to me that he needs an us and an our, and who the hell has he been talking to all this time anyway? That's the other part. And he creates male and female at the same time, apparently. And he tells them to go be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish, there was nobody here to begin with. How are we going to replenish it? But the multiply part is interesting. So I guess childbirth didn't hurt yet. So it would be beneficial for Eve to spit out as many kids as she possibly can right now. And he tells them that everything is for their wherever they want. They can eat all the stuff, all the trees, all the fruit, and all the meat as well. So he can go kill all those animals. He's then told them to start multiplying, because they're going to get their asses kicked. He's happy with himself. So that's the end of the sixth day, and now he's going to take a day off. And there you have it. Screw all that evolution crap. I mean, that clearly puts it all into perspective for you. You should be able to figure it out from there, right? Maybe not. By the way, God changes his story a little bit in the very next book. Read Genesis. It gets kind of crazy. Thanks for listening.